Buckle up, folks. We're diving into the story of how Uber, the brainchild of Travis Kalanick and Garrett Camp, evolved from a "where's my darn cab" moment in Paris 2008 to a global "your chariot awaits" empire. This isn't just any business tale. It's an adventure of how Uber turned our travel traumas into triumphs. And trust me, it's more riveting than trying to decipher a city bus timetable. Rewind to those pre-Uber days when getting a taxi was like playing a real-life version of the Hunger Games. You, along with a dozen others, vying for the attention of the elusive taxi. Only the fittest, fastest, or loudest hailed a ride. Then comes Uber, launching in San Francisco in 2009, morphing our smartphones into magical wands to conjure rides out of thin air. Uber's mantra was simple yet revolutionary. Why chase cabs when you can bring them to you? And thus, a new era of convenience was born. With a few taps, a car would appear, as if by magic or GPS. But who's keeping track? It was like having a chauffeur on call, minus the fancy hat. But Uber's not just about saving us from the rain or the awkward. I think I waved too aggressively at that taxi moments. It changed the whole game of pricing. Remember the days when you'd need to take out a loan to afford a black cab? Uber made it cheaper, transparent, fare estimates in the app, goodbye, meter anxiety, and all wonderfully cashless. It's like they knew our dislike for calculating tips and carrying cash. Then came the plot twist. Not everyone was a fan. Uber's entrance was more dramatic than a celebrity's surprise appearance on a reality show. Taxi companies were less welcome to the neighborhood, and more "this town ain't big enough for the both of us." Cities scrambled to figure out regulations for this new model, sparking protests and legal showdowns. Uber was disrupting more than just the transport industry. It was shaking up the status quo. But here's the juicy part, the gig economy twist. Uber turned everyday car owners into entrepreneurs. Got a car? Got some free time? Congrats! You're now a mobile business. This flexibility was a game changer. Suddenly, earning money was as easy as a Sunday drive, except it might be on a Tuesday and during rush hour. The ripple effect was massive. Uber didn't just offer rides, it expanded our world. It became the wingman for late-night partygoers, the reliable friend for early morning flights, and the savior for those who live in the bus. What bus? Parts of town. But Uber's not just a fairy godmother for city dwellers. It's an urban legend, evolving with our changing world. Uber's resilience is part folklore, part corporate strategy. They've waded through controversies and backlashes like a swan paddling through a stormy lake, composed on the surface but paddling furiously underneath. Safety concerns, legal battles, and cultural shifts challenged them. But like any good hero's journey, these battles only made them stronger, and maybe a bit wiser. Speaking of wise, let's not forget Uber's genius in always staying one step ahead. While we were all marveling at this new way to travel, Uber was already zooming ahead, dreaming up everything from food delivery, Uber Eats, to self-driving wonders. Their secret, understanding the power of what's next, from Uberpool's carpooling genius to luxury rides with Uber Black, they've got more versions than your favorite smartphone. As we cruise to the end of our Uber journey, let's ponder this. Uber didn't just transform how we move, it reimagined what mobility means. It's not just about going from A to B. It's about how technology, innovation, and a little bit of audacity can shift gears in an entire industry. In a world where Ubering is a verb and our night-out plans rely heavily on a handy app, it's clear Uber's story is far from over. So what's next in this wild ride of innovation and transformation? Strap in, because if Uber's history is anything to go by, we're in for an exhilarating, app-driven adventure, punctuated by the occasional speed bump and detour, but thrilling nonetheless.